What's up, fuckers? Welcome to the studio once again. And I'm going to take your word for it that my air conditioning is not too loud. Because otherwise, it'll be pit stain central in here, and I don't like that. And you probably don't either. Let's go to FL Studio, because that's why we're here. And of course, my camera's crooked. I fucking hate that. There. Cool. All right. What do we got up first? I didn't get a whole lot of submissions this week, 13. So if anybody's watching and wants to submit something, toss it in, and we'll have a listen to it. First up, we got At the Spring of Light, Bass Freak Remix. Okay, let's have a listen, see what they got going on. Let me make sure I didn't accidentally master it or anything like that. Pretty bad for that. Okay, here we go. Wow, that was insane. That was so fast. Like, I was not ready for that. I feel like I'm in like a Euro racing simulator. I feel like I'm like in a arcade. I know, Will, but what else is new? My mouth is always wide open for you. Okay, what do I think about this? I think that this is fucking ridiculous, and good job on being ridiculous. I think that the clap is maybe a little loud. The clap kind of exists on a plane of existence all on its own. I like the sound of the clap. It's just like maybe a little too loud. Also, I just want to call out Eswin because I just saw him open up Cyberpunk 2077 when I'm doing a stream. He's supposed to be a mod. He's fired. Effective immediately. Can I move your track down? I have to drive home. Yep, sure. Where's your track? Net Felix? Yeah. All right, we're moving her down if I can remember how. There we go. Okay, I put it at the bottom. Okay, so... yeah, I think the biggest problem with this right now is just the clap. It's too pokey outy. Like the clap is just by itself. In fact, the drums in general might be a little too loud. Like it kind of sounds like the drums are on top of everything else. Yeah, I'd probably bring the clap down like maybe 5 dB, and I'd bring the kick down maybe like 2 or 3 dB, and then I'd master it harder, and I think the track's gonna sound way better if you do that. And then of course, it's a little short. You should probably turn it into a full song, but hey, it's pretty badass as is. And like I said, it makes me feel like I'm in an arcade playing a racing game, so there's nothing wrong with that. Cool. Okay, let's move on. Thanks for sending. That was it got my heartbeat going, and it makes me realize that I'm still alive, which is always a good thing. Next up, we got Coalescence. Is it just Coalescence? I don't fucking know. Drown with 18 N's. Wow, that was almost rude. I'm a big fan of this so far. Look at this shit. Look at that. That's so cool. Yeah, this is very like it really there was no foreplay. We just went I mean, that was sick. That was very exciting, I guess is a good word for it. You know, at first I was kind of a little iffy on like the phaser effect because it just kind of sounds like a DJ that's like, oh my God, I got a phaser knob, you know? But it kind of grew on me. I don't know. It's used in a tasteful way. I just typically a phaser is like one of those effects where it gets overused. But I don't know. I like it. I would say maybe be careful in the bottom end. There's some moments where maybe it's like when the double kick happens. Every once in a while, there'll just be like this rumbly boom, like two things fucking with each other in the bottom end. And like every once in a while, I don't know, every once in a while there will be like something in the bottom end that just kind of doesn't jive. Like even right here. Was this a kick that didn't have a side chain or a kick that was in a, I bet you any money this was a kick that was in a drum loop and it didn't get the big kick on top of it right here. Like I like these moments, but every once in a while, I don't know. I would just specifically listen to all of your sub-range elements added together and see if there's things that aren't playing nice. Most of the time it's okay, but every once in a while there'll be kind of like a conflict happening down there. So maybe just look into that and then keep going with it because it's obviously not a full track. It's a cool idea. Now build a song around it, and that's easier said than done. Good luck. All right, next up we got Fayhue Whispering Rain Drop 8. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Drop and then the date. I'm an idiot. Here we go. Well, that was short and sweet. This is sick. I really don't have any feedback on this. It sounds great. Now just make it into a song, which is easier said than done. It sounds very cool. It's very pleasing to the ears. I feel like I'm chewing on an eraser almost, if that makes any sense. Was it just me that chewed on erasers? Like the resistance that I liked when you chewed on the eraser and it fucking resisted, but then at a certain moment it gave out. And I don't know, they kind of, and actually you can get all these little fruit chews and stuff like that, but the good ones from Costco, they're like Welch's, they have a similar feature to them. They fight back a little bit. I mean, obviously you can overcome it, but they fight back. And then when you overcome it, it feels like you've accomplished something. Some fruit snacks don't have that. You bite and your teeth just go right through it, and it didn't even put up a fight, and it's no fun. I mean, there has to be a fight. There has to be like a hunt, you know. Anyway, that's what this reminds me of. Is that the thing that I just said? Keep going. Sounds great. Cool. Next up, Ice Kayab, Daphne. 2023 full show remix. There's one part I'm not sure about. Okay, well, holy fuck. Okay, well, I don't know which part you're not sure about, but let's go. Let's do it again. Dude, who hurt you? Who did this to you? Why are you so angry? Okay, I agree with Cody. It's a bit too mono. There's really no sub bass to speak of. It's all like mid-range, low mids. So I definitely, this would go a lot harder if, like, listen to some Doom Eternal music, which I'm sure you already do based on this, and pay attention to what's going on in the very bottom end, like the sub range. Your track has very little sub range. Yeah, the whole track kind of feels mono, actually. That's a good call, Cody. And I find like the kick drum is a little too, it sounds like somebody flicking a button on a coat. Like, I don't know how to explain it besides that. It almost sounds like it doesn't have enough like girth behind it. Okay, we're back to this song again. I still don't really like this chord progression. I don't know, it just doesn't, that melody more than anything doesn't do anything for me. It's too, I don't know, it kind of sounds like it's disappointed in itself or something. Also, is this the same song? Is this the same song? Okay, I think that your dun 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 things are too loud. They're overpowering. From hell to heaven, back to hell. I don't know if we actually made it to heaven. I think we might have just like went to a higher up circle of hell. We went from like the 7th circle of hell to like the 5th circle of hell. And then we went down to like the 12th circle of hell. And I don't even know what that entails. But mix wise, it's like loud at the expense of everything. Like the da 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 da, like that thing is way louder than everything else. There's moments in this track where I'm like, hell yeah, I want to kick down a door, punch a hole in the wall, you know, but there's also moments where I don't understand what's happening. It sounds like it's a good thing that you're making this music because it sounds like you're really angry, and I'm glad that you're taking it out on this track and not something else. Um, anyway, in all seriousness, honestly, dude, I feel like we've been hearing the song many weeks in a row. I would call it what it is and move on. I think you should start a new track and take what you learned from these songs, or at least to me, this sounds like two songs. It sounds like two different songs that have been surgically Frankenstein together. They don't really sound like they go together per se. So maybe just take what you learned and move on, or cut it into two songs and try to make a more cohesive song. Because in my opinion, it's just angry, and it's like somebody going on an angry rant, and that's what it's supposed to sound like. Oh God, okay, let's hear the development here. That's Lord of the Rings, right? Am I crazy? Dude, we made it out of hell and now we're in Mordor. And now we're in the jungle. Dude, we went from hell to maybe heaven, at least purgatory, back to hell. We went to Mordor, and now we're cruising through the jungle. Okay. This sounds like you had a lot of fun experimenting with a lot of stuff. And there's some good stuff in there. Don't listen to Rayham. He's a cranky old fucking UK bastard. There's some decent stuff in here. Move. Okay, I need to close my email. Emails are coming in and they're cramping my style. Anyway, that's my advice. I could go back and try to give you advice, but this isn't a song. This is a bunch of experimentation, and that's great. Now take what you learned and try to make a cohesive track. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Thank you for that journey that we just went on. It was the scenic route for sure. All right, K Meyer, Minecraft type beat. Okay. Wow. Okay, that was very calming after that last track. Thank you for lowering our blood pressure to a safe level. What do I got to say about this? It's very nice. It's very Minecrafty for sure. I thought Raham made a good point, as much as it pains me to say it, that it sounds like Minecraft if it was released on the N64. I would say when you bring in the the thing on the left side, actually it might be on the right side because my speakers might be hooked up backwards. I don't remember. Let me just find out right now. Anyway, the main thing, I think it needs something to balance it out. And I also think that you could bring in a separate element halfway through these sections to reinforce and add a little variety to the melody and what you're doing. Also, I think maybe at some point change up, like maybe find a cool counter chord progression that kind of recontextualizes the melody. So instead of da 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 da, you know, maybe there's something else. It doesn't necessarily need it, but it could be cool. It could be cool to almost like a bridge or something to give it a different angle. Maybe the melody stays the same, but it's a different instrument and the chords change. I don't know. These aren't things that it necessarily needs. These are just ideas that I had while I was listening to it. But overall, it was very nice. And I'm gonna take a hit off of this smelling salt to get my blood pressure back up, I guess. Oh shit! Oh god damn! Oh, I feel like 1,000 cats just pissed in my nose. Wow. All right, I'm good now. I was good before. I'm not good now. Thanks for setting. That was cool. Let's move on. We got Coder B5 every day. Yeah. I don't know what this is. Okay, this is what I think about this so far. I think I enjoyed the moment that I realized why you named it that. That was a good moment for me. There's some mix issues, and it's not even like EQ or anything like that. It's just like straight up volume things. Like that vocal is really buried, and I'm not saying it should be super loud, but yeah, it just sounds like really down. And then over here we have this massive kick drum that's just like, hello, I'm a kick drum and I exist. And then normally you would have the snare to balance that. You'd almost have like a yin and yang going on between the kick and the snare. You'd have kick, snare, kick, snare. And it'd be different if you were doing kick, kick, snare, like the kick and the snare at the same time. But because you have this huge kick that really dominates the mix, and then a snare that's just kind of like a ha. Like if you really focus on the kick and the snare and listen to the volume difference. And is it just me or does the kick get louder? Anyway, that's my main concern, is that the vocals are too low, the kick is too loud, and the snare is too quiet. That so far, that's what I got. I really have to pee because I drank like 3 cans of water right before the stream for some unknown reason. It's really dumb for me to do that. So I'm going to play this, and I'm going to come back before it finishes. Here we go. All right, what'd I miss? Yeah, I like this counter. I like this counter melody that comes in. There's a lot of great stuff happening in this track. I think the biggest thing is just that kick drum and the snare are just not fitting in the track. And the thing in the background, I think should maybe be a bit more up front. Like it's too backgroundy. A dumpster fire? I wouldn't call it a dumpster fire. I think you just got to turn that kick down and the snare up and the vocals up and the wibbity wibbity boo 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 thing up as well. I feel like there's 3 or 4 adjustments that you need to make, and then the mix would be in a much better spot, and you can continue writing the track. It's a fun, upbeat track. It's a little melancholy. Makes me feel like I'm saying goodbye to a friend for a while or something. Like my friend is going away on a extended field trip. Apparently, I'm back in high school, and I'm gonna miss them. But it's bittersweet because the fact that I miss them reinforces the fact that I actually care about them. So it's like good because it makes me realize that I care about them, but I'm also going to miss them. That's what this track makes me feel about. Nice words. All right, cool. Those are my thoughts. Let's move on. Thank you for sending. We got 720. First full song soon. Okay, I thought this was going to be the first full song, but soon. I think that there's some really cool stuff in here, but there's like a lot of really cool stuff on top of each other, and it's a bit overwhelming period. Like I just hear like random doom, right? Like listen, you'll hear this like random note that's like doom. Down. Like what note is that? There's a lot of stuff kind of fighting each other in this moment. And like the vocal, I don't know what key that's in. Ba, 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 ba. Let me see. I'm gonna have to try and listen to just the vocal. I think it's in D. Yeah, it's in D minor. So the vocal's in D minor, but I'm not convinced that the song is necessarily in D minor. You catch my drift? Drift. The word drift starts with D. Okay, we get a random E. Yeah, I would be careful with the notes. And also the amount of elements. I think you have something that goes real hard in amongst this, but you have to get a little heavy-handed with the deleting and strip it back to like a dirty beat and the vocal. It doesn't need 1,000 lasers and sound design things. Just get a really good sounding beat and have the vocal on top of it and make sure it's in the same key. And everything is in the same key and there's no conflictions. That was about to go fucking hard. Like I was excited for that part. Is that Harmer? That sounds like Harmer. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I think it's a bit of a mess, melodically and element-wise. Strip it back to the basics. Have a good, solid, dirty beat. Less is more. And let the vocals just, like, provide, like, a real crunchy, fucking hard-hitting beat for that vocal to sit on top of. And then use everything else as spice. Don't, you know, if you're making spaghetti, you don't take 17 pounds of oregano and then 14 kilograms of, I don't know, cumin and dump it in the spaghetti. You little bits, tasteful amounts of cumin, you know? Anyway, those are my thoughts. I think it goes hard and there's some cool elements, but there are too many cool elements, and make sure they're in the right key. Moving on. All right, next up we got Simulcat, Sober State. Raham, I know how it's pronounced. God. Don't you know me by now? Okay, let's keep going.
Washed up, burnt out, brain dead, fucked up, anxious, freak out, can't do small talk. Out at night with a bone dry mouth and a price to pay for sobriety.
And also tits.
Sobriety. Small town, camped out, grown up, still dumb, linked up, same crowd, lit up, coughed out. Out my mind with a bone dry mouth and a price to pay for sobriety.
Allow me to show you.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that makes me feel not sober. So I don't know if that was your agenda or not, but if it was, then congrats. What do I think about this? I think it's crazy, definitely crazy. My suggestion would be to have this section here. Have this in the first drop. You know, you could even do this. Chop this. So you have like basically two sections of this first drop. What if, and this isn't going to line up perfectly, but what if you cut out the second section, right? And you brought that deep bass part over here, and then to make it various, to make it variety-ish, to add variety, you now take that second half of the first drop, use it as the first half of the second drop, and drop back into the bass again. Because, like, this shit is wild. But this is like stank face, you know? Like this shit is I'm jumping around in a circle and loving it. And then this section is I'm throwing up gang signs that I don't even know what they mean, and I'm probably endangering my life, but I'm enjoying it. So that's my suggestion, is to do that. And I think it would make a more well-rounded track that makes a bit more sense, and it gives us two opportunities to enjoy both of these sections kind of separately, right? And you know, you could add some variety to this, to the B drop, the B part of the second drop here, or whatever. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have for you. I like it a lot. I just think that you're missing out on maybe a better arrangement. And that's just my opinion. So if you don't like it, then you can go fuck yourself. All right, moving on. I love it. Thank you. Let's go. Vel code 105 BPM ID, previous version on July 21st stream. Okay. Okay, so this sounds great, but there is a bit of harshness up here. And I think it's mostly from the vocal. The vocal is very breathy, and don't get me wrong, it sounds good, but from a utility point of view or a technical point of view, it's a bit harsh up here in the 3 to 5. Okay, this from what I can recall from a month ago, I believe this sounds much better. I could dig it up and find out for sure, but we're just gonna go off of this. I think this. I think, like I said, the vocals have a bit too much of that harshness up in the 3 to 5 kilohertz range, and also I feel like there needs to be a breakdown in between all of this drop section, because we're kind of dum 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 dum. We're sticking at the root note, which is fine for the drop, but without a breakdown section in between to give us some different chords or something. In fact, let me see what the chords are. Wait a minute. Hey, there's only one chord in this entire song. That, I think that should change. You could okay, let's see what key you're in. So you're in F sharp, right? You could go down to D. You could do something with those notes. D, E, F sharp, A. I don't know. I think like during the drop, it's okay to keep it tonal and just keep it playing the one note. But during the breakdowns, why not add some chords to get a little bit more emotional? And then that way the track doesn't feel so static when it's just constantly down, down, down on the F sharp the entire time. Those are my thoughts. I think it's sounding very good mix-wise, production-wise. It just, you need to sneak some different chords in there at some point so that we can feel a little bit more emotional, you know? Atonal drops suck, arse, says Raham. But then again, Raham thinks everything sucks, so you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. Okay, except Tesseracts. He doesn't think Tesseracts suck. Okay, next up we got D major North Star Multi-Fox remix. Let us go.
When dreams feel far away and my hope begins to fade, I close my eyes and see you there, a million miles away. The skies begin to change and colors make their way. I know it's gonna be okay, okay. No matter how deep, no matter how far, you always walk me through the dark. Fall into the sky, and time is on our side. No matter how deep, no matter how far.
Okay, the chords sound way better now. I think you took my advice from the last stream, so good job. Not to pat myself on the back too much, but these chords sound a trillion times better than that, whatever that fourth chord is. That was so bad that I can actually remember it. I'd bring in like a Reese part or something here. Like the bottom end kind of feels a little bare. This is so much better than last time you sent it. Oh.
No, it's no mistake if we're here out of place. Lost is just another name for us finding our way. And I'm with you for the whole ride, weightless under your sky, and your gravity feels so right.
Okay, I think the vocals are off time in this section. They feel late, I think.
And I'm with you for the whole ride, weightless under.
Yeah, I feel like they're like shifted over. I don't know if they're late or early, but they feel the accents are like on the wrong spot or something.
No matter how deep, no matter how far, you always walk me through the dark. No matter the path, I found my way back to where you are.
I feel like, I mean, like, yeah, the vocals, they were obviously written to a different chord progression, but I mean, I'm trying to find actionable advice to give. And the fact that Multifox sent this in before with the most rank fourth chord ever, and now it sounds much better, I want to celebrate that. I don't know if the chords go with the vocals that well. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But we got to celebrate the small victories. So having a good chord progression, regardless of what the vocals are doing, I think is an important note to make. Now, you can see your drops kind of have less overall volume in them than your build-ups. Maybe not for you, Raham. Maybe not for you. So I don't know exactly how to tell you how to make the drop sections louder. I mean, I think it's both a mix and mastering thing. I think you got to turn these parts down and then turn these parts up and master them harder. Yeah, I think it's kind of a combination of mix and master. I think this volume is probably from like the end of the build-up. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Try to, Ram hasn't celebrated in 2 years. That's fucking incredible. Yeah, maybe like go through and just try to look at this, look at the waveform and make some changes to try and make the build up to the drop, not build up and then down to the drop. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, much better. Good progress. Thanks for sending. All right, we got Aiden Dodge. Rebellion. By the way, today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Aiden. Wait, do I know how to play that? I don't know. Probably not. I'll try to play Happy Birthday on a sine wave. Nope, already fucked it up. Fuck. There, that was really bad, but happy birthday. All right, let's listen. Okay, so my thoughts so far. This pacing is twice as long as it should be. This should get cut in half. This should get cut in half. There's really no value in playing that exact same chord sequence with nothing different 2 times in a row. I mean, there was no indication that we were moving forward. There was no indication of progress. So I would either cut it down like I just did or add some variety in so that it kind of rationalizes having that there. Now, when it gets to here, the drum kit sounds like it is in the next house over. It's very quiet. It sounds like somebody's playing a cymbal. It sounds like somebody's playing a hi-hat in the woods next to your house, but like in the woods, a little way. Like you couldn't see them or you couldn't hit them with a stone if you threw a stone or a rock. So if you're going to do those drums, I'd probably have them a bit more up front. What the fuck? Dude, this was sounded so... It was sounded like it was going to lead up to something, but the chords changed. The key changed in the song. I know it's your birthday, but fuck. I mean, like, this chord progression is okay, but it's a total departure from what we were built. It was like a bait and switch. I feel like it was like you were on Tinder, but you used a picture from 14 years ago, and now you're a 70-year-old woman, and you're not that young 55-year-old woman, you know? Like, it was a bait and switch. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out what 70 minus 15 was, but anyway. Yeah, that was off-putting. I will put it that way. I think you should listen to some mindless self-indulgence for some inspiration. This is very mindless self-indulgence-y. Great song is Pussy All Night. That's a great song. Yeah, I feel like this very disconnected, and I don't understand the connection between the build-up and the intro section and then the main section. So, yeah, I guess take that with a grain of salt. Let's keep going. See, like, up till this point, I'm on board. It sounds like there's like somebody like chanting in ancient tongue in the background. Okay, there's some flamming going on, so there's like some transients that aren't lining up with each other, and the more that they spread apart, the more they sound like a flam. It kind of reminds me of that music that Eswin was making with the AI, where they add vocals, but the vocals aren't saying any words. They're just like, like they're not speaking English. Anyway, let's... Okay, is this all a build? Okay, so when we get to these big dubstep sections, they're very dull. The drums don't really cut through. The snare just kind of sounds like a... Like, I really like... I like the melodic sections of this track, but the drop sections, I just feel like they just don't belong to this track. They sound like something else. But that's just one man's humble opinion, and you can feel free to, as always, tell me to go fuck myself. I would probably structure your drops around the melodic kind of theme that the rest of the track is portraying. When I get the vocals in, it will make sense. I'm gonna tell you right now that if vocals make sense to me, I would be very surprised. But I don't want to discourage you. Anything is possible if you just believe. So I look forward to hearing how these vocals are going to help. Okay. And I do not mean to discourage you. There's lots of great stuff happening in here. Most of it is in the melodic sections. I just don't understand the relationship between the verses and the choruses. The relationship just doesn't make sense to me. So take it with a grain of salt and send it in with some vocals, and I'll let you know if it makes sense to me. All right. Thanks for sending in. Happy birthday. All right, next up, we got Amp 6. More Amps Dog Shit, Part 7, but no, surely this is a real song now and also fixed version. That's great to hear. Okay, so this definitely has more of a theme than your past submissions. So good job on that. There's funking the bass region. I feel like this track is very hyped in an OTT kind of way. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was one or more OTT on the master bus, which, not to say that I've never done that before, but you got to be careful with that mix knob, you know, like keep her a little low. I think like what you could do, because it kind of sounded like the whole track, it was going da-diddle-a-doo-doo, da-diddle-a-doo-doo, like the entire track, right? So maybe come up with something to get away from that, another melody that works in conjunction with that you can swap out when we need a break for that or from that melody. You could also play you could get playful with like different synths or different sounds doing the same doodle-a-doo-doo, like. You know, like every once in a while, drop out to like a little, I don't know, something different. You know, like swap it out. Don't give us dessert with every bite. Yeah, I guess that's my main thing. Is that yes, this is definitely an improvement in the whole having a theme. Having a theme thing. I don't why my brain just left my head momentarily. It's back now. You've done a better job coming up with a theme. That's what I'm trying to say. But now you need to keep going, improving that, right? Maybe come up with a chord progression, because Yeah. Okay, so I feel like the track from the start to the end is at 10/10ths. It's really focused around the tonic, like the root note. Yes, the bass line walks around a little bit, but we don't have any sustained chords playing other chords to get us away from that, right? And also, I think you're relying a little too heavily on that synth going ba-bida-da-boop-boop, you know? Those are my thoughts. Needs more jazz. Sure, I guess you could put it that way. But definitely very cool, and lots of cool sound design as always. Just keep in mind that you want to string us along with anticipation, have peaks and valleys, build up, hit, break down. This track felt, I know it did technically break down, but everything was still like wall of sound, right? Like we still had like OTT firing on all cylinders pretty much the entire track. So don't be afraid to pull it back a little bit. Let things die down, hint at a new chord progression, hint at a new melody, get playful with using different instruments to play the same melody. And those are my thoughts and ideas. Thank you for listening. Okay, moving on. We got Nat Felix, and Turbo Fury and Cassini, Fragile or Fraggle. It depends on which part of the world you're from, I guess. Here we go. I stopped it with my elbow. Wow. I agree with Cody. The reverby vocal in the background, the ambience, I think that should be used sparingly in certain parts, but the drop, it kind of it kind of serves to fill in between the chugs. So it makes the chugs less chuggy, and everybody likes big chugs, right? So you got to keep them chuggy. If there's reverbed out vocals when you're going chung, chug, chung, 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 you're going chung and you're landing on the reverbed vocals, and you're going chung and landing on the reverb vocals. Does that make sense? I have no idea. Been listening to too much Gary Busey lately. Anyway, my thoughts. Besides that, that's a valid point. It's not a break it or make it sort of situation, but I think it's worth trying, taking out the ambience from certain parts of the drop and see what the chugs sound like. My next thought is that the beautiful guitar stuff that's in the intro and in the outro, and is it in the breakdown? I don't even think it's in the breakdown. It's just in the intro and outro. You could sneak that in, like in the drops, have the drops kick, drop out to bling ding dang dang, and then back into the chung chung chung. It's, I like doing stuff like that because it ties the whole track together. It makes the track feel like a cohesive package, not just kind of stream of consciousness. Hey, this sounds cool. This sounds cool. This sounds cool. So maybe try to cut in some of those interesting guitar sounds into the drops. And then I think it needs vocals. And that's it. That's what I think. I think it's sick. It sounds very cool. What you have here is very cool, and it's a good place to be. But I think you could take it further, and I think you should take it further, and I think you will take it further. Okay, I'm moving on. Thank you for sending. We got Confession. Let's have a listen to this. Yeah, these vocals sound a trillion times better already. So there's still this kind of like... There's still this like super breathy, hissy, airy, Hershey kiss of a thing going on up here. And I think you might need to, it could be an EQ curve or it could be a de-essing situation, but there's this, it's very, sorry, that didn't work out like I thought it would. I just accidentally almost died. Anyway, I would try to tame down that kind of up here in like the, I don't know, 6 to 10K. Anyway, yes, we're going to move on because I think you understand.
Blocking though. What else do you love?
Okay, so this sounds I'm so glad that you decided to go back and re-record those vocals because honestly, these sound way better, and I don't think there was any saving those vocals. They were just too far gone, in my opinion. So I think you did the right thing. You still have to calm that frequency range. But this is way better.
Supposed to live this way, feeling like I'm being chased like a talking though. What after?
Yeah, they're sitting in the mix good. It's really just a matter of taming those harsh frequencies up in her kind of breathiness. And you might have done something to cause that. You know, like sometimes we try a bunch of stuff and we end up with this massive chain of effects, and half of them are trying to undo shit that the other half was trying to do, you know, and I just said do, and I'm ashamed of myself, but I'll keep going. So I think, I think just investigate, and the way to tell is play it on a bunch of different speakers and fucking crank it. If you crank it, that's going to tell you where the harshness lies, because it's going to hit your ears hardest first, right? So crank it, listen to it on as many different systems as you can. And I know you're losing sight, you're losing the forest for the trees, or whatever the fuck that saying is, but you're doing a good job, and you've made some serious progress on this track. This is now a viable track. Before it wasn't. Like, the vocals weren't good enough. They didn't sound good enough to be a viable track, but now they do. So good job. Keep going. Tame down the harshness. That's it. Cool. Moving on. All right. How do I say this? Rafornax. Rafornax. That sounds like a Pokemon. Urfanix. Can somebody please tell me how to say this? I don't want to butcher it, even though I already did. Okay, it's called Another Day. Let's go.
Driving down a road trying to get lost, and right now it makes me wonder why the hell I waited there so long. Now I wanna chase the thunder, drive through the rain, I'll find you again, keep chasing it through until we end up somewhere unknown, a place to call home. We don't have to be stuck here forever. Stay with me, we'll run away, go find somewhere we wanna play. Don't need nobody but the sunlight. You and me won't waste another day.
Okay, so sounding good. I enjoy the vocals. I enjoy the chords. Right off the bat, this drop is way too short. We just invested 45 seconds. We invested 45 seconds of our life getting ready for the drop. We were looking forward to the drop. We were planning our entire next 3 minutes around what this drop was going to do. And the drop is cool, but then it just ends. It needs to keep going. It needs to be longer. You need to elaborate on it. It's like a tease. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that was it, you know? Like keep it going. It could be 2 or even maybe 4 times as long as this. As long as it's constantly evolving and bringing new things to the table and giving different contexts, and what, you know what I mean? Like there's progress. You can't just copy and paste it 4 times, but the drop section could be 2 to 4 times as long as it currently is. And the next thing is, I feel like the whole master kind of has a slight, I don't know, like a sheen, not a sheen, because that sounds good. It has like a film. It almost has like a film on it. And I'm wondering if the vocals are like an MP3 rip or some sort of something that's not like a clean vocal. There's something that it's just the top end seems a little degraded, or I don't know. It's subtle. It's not like terrible, but there's something going on where the top end just feels like it's missing something. But I don't know if it's the vocal. It almost sounds like it's the whole mix. Like if I go like this. Yeah, haze. Yeah. Like if I add 4 decibels to the very top end, and I'm not suggesting that you go into your master and add 4 decibels, because there were some elements that sounded worse. Like there were, I don't know if it was the vocals, something sounded too bright. But overall, I think a lot of your elements need a boost up in the top end. So yeah, again, don't just go in and boost 4 decibels in the 6K and up range. Go in and strategically pick elements to, yeah, the cymbal were too bright, helped every other element. There you go. That's what it was. So the cymbal all of a sudden is way too bright. That's why you can't just go and do what I just did. But if you went in like your bass synth, your vocals, and you just either gave them a bump up in the top end, or maybe there's something already happening that's causing them to lose brightness, and reversing that, I think that's going to help a lot. It's almost like how in traditional rock music, the electric guitar doesn't really extend too high up in the frequency range, right? But the cymbals, the cymbals from the drums, they fill in that frequency range. So you're kind of picking and choosing elements to fill up certain frequency ranges in the mix. Let's keep going. Okay, Rayham. Okay, so yeah, I mean, like those are my thoughts. I think that there's some good stuff happening in here, but like these drops need to be developed more. I really think that your drops could be this long, as long as you can justify it. Or maybe the first drop is this long, the second drop is that long, and then what's that to put us for time? Yeah, then we're at 3.5 minutes, right? So that, if you did what I just did, that takes your track is still not even 3.5 minutes. That tells me that you easily can extend these drop sections. Maybe have the first one go 3 times, and then have the second one go 4 times, and then all of a sudden now we're at 3.5 minutes, which is kind of like the industry standard for a pop EDM track, 3.5 to 4 minutes. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I think there's lots of good stuff happening, and I hope that my opinion helps in some small way. Excuse me, I'm still suffering from when I tried to make the breath sound and my body gave up. Okay, we got Tremolo and Logic 23. I Still Love You. Okay. Okay, one sec.
I'm trying to breathe. I can't do
So the piano has this like resonance in this kind of frequency range. It's very, very pokey. It's poking through the mix in a not good way. So I try to tame that down. Overall, if you kind of like squint your ears and think specifically on the volume level of the vocals versus the piano is like 14 trillion times loud. Okay, it's not, that's an exaggeration. It's probably twice as loud as the vocal though. And the vocal really should be the loudest thing. I mean, you know, to an extent, we don't want it driving the master bus, but the vocal seems very subdued here. I don't know if I would suggest just turning it up or maybe breaking the track down to drop it 14 trillion decibels. Yeah, anyway, I either maybe dropping the track, breaking the track down, take the drums out, have the vocals come in. They just, the way they are there now, they just kind of think, shut up, Raham. The way they are now, they sound like they're just kind of like a background ambient element. They don't sound like a main focal point of the track. Let's keep going. So yeah, okay. I think the vocals sound great. I think the vibe is amazing. The drums sound very like triphonic. Do you know who triphonic is? I think they're called triphonic. Check them out if you don't know them. Very good reference for this stuff. I think maybe it's the arrangement more than anything. Maybe the way that you just kind of, it almost seems haphazard or like willy-nilly. The vocals just come in at certain points. And it doesn't really do anything to build anticipation or create a journey for us. You're almost just like, here's a very cool vibe, and now here are some vocals that sound good as well. To me, that doesn't make a good song. It's just some great elements. Now you have to arrange them in a way that takes us on a journey from start to finish. Maybe you introduce the vocals very early on in the track, and then you build up, and then you maybe drop into this cool vibe and cut up the vocals and use them more like a little like hooky instrument thing or something. And then you break down, you bring the vocals back in, it builds up, and then you drop into another cool vibey drop with chopped up vocals. Every once in a while, we'll get maybe the last phrase off of the vocal at the end of certain measures. There's ways of doing this, but the way it's arranged right now, it just doesn't, it doesn't take me for a ride. I just kind of feel like I've slipped into a warm bath as opposed to like going down a water slide. Where the fuck do I come up with this shit? Anyway, I'm gonna keep listening. Yeah, I'm going to definitely say go check out Triphonic and take some notes. But everything here sounds great. It's just not arranged in a way that tells a story. That's what I'm going to break this whole opinion down to. All right, let's move on. We got Rears, the guy or girl or whoever you are that I accidentally skipped. Okay, so the pacing is a little off. I feel like we've waited too long for something to happen, but I 100% feel like this with like a hard trap beat. I don't know what's going to happen. It doesn't look like a trap beat to me. And like this would go like hard, like a I don't know, yeah, blah, 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 like a rap song, you know, like the rap like the kids listen to. Okay, right up until this point, it was sick. When this part happened, it was kind of lacking. It like for some reason, I'm assuming it's maybe the sidechain or something, but like this is when the beat happened and the waveform gets noticeably smaller. Like composition wise, it's fine, but just production wise, it doesn't feel like we stepped up. It almost feels like we stepped down. It's also very sub heavy. Let me just fuck with Ozone here for a sec. Okay, now I like it better. But let me automate this a little bit. I think maybe what this needs is a bit of a mix adjustment, but also a big master adjustment. That was a very sexual sound at the end. So I think it's great. It's very vibey and dark and stuff, but it just, first of all, needs to be more than what could fit on a floppy disk. And that would help a lot. And also, if you watch what I did with the mastering, I dropped the sub range like 4 decibels because it was overpowering. And I tried to control the dynamics of each individual frequency range, and then I just hit it with the master limiter until it was loud and up front, and I felt like it was in my ears, not like on the other side of my driveway. Okay, those are my thoughts. Very cool indeed. I'm gonna go ahead and undo all of that shit so that I don't accidentally destroy somebody else's track. All right, next up, we got Foison. I spent way too long on this in 2015. Okay. Okay, that's snare. You know, as much as I hate the drums, I love the glitchy whatever the fuck that sound is. I'm a big fan of that stuff. The drums can go fuck themselves though. Dude, there's no way that you just played a major chord. I'm really excited to see how this ties back in. Let's have a listen. I mean, hey, it's interesting. I don't know what kind of feedback you're looking for, or if you just thought it would be fun for us to listen to a 2015 project. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It looks like a little wiener at the end. That's cool. So what I would do is take the glitchy stuff out and reharvest it as a cool loop that you could use in another track, because there's cool shit in here, but well, that part of it is cool in my opinion. But I mean, if we listen to my 2015 stuff, here we go. I have an album called like 2015 Summer Music or something. Here we go. Yeah. What's a good 2015? A lot of these are from like 2015. Oh man, this track.
What is this?
Man, those are good days. This might be 2016. I don't want to lie, you know. I don't want to lie to you. I think this is 2016. Oh man, brings back memories. I had a lot of fun making music. Now I just make techno shit and I don't like it, so that's cool. This is what Rayhem sent. The waveform looks like a weapon of sorts. Looks like something that would definitely move your insides around. Yeah, but like melodically, this is still great. It's like production wise, it's kind of not great, but melodically, the song is great, and that's what I need to get back into. I focus so much on production and mixing and finding new sounds that I kind of lose track of what's important, which is being creative and expressing myself and having original thoughts and adding value to the world. You know, it doesn't matter how fucking good your clap sound is. It just if the song sucks, you can have the best clap in the world, not gonna matter. There's the phaser. Absolutely not even a hint of side chaining. Incredible. All right, let's move on to the last track of the day. Thank you guys for hanging out with me as always. It's something I look forward to every week. So thank you for being here for me in my time of need. Okay, this one's Hansa Tessa Nameless Snowmaster Demo 3. I'd probably bring in some percussion or some snares or something at this point because it kind of just feels like it's trailing on. that clap. Okay, as a general rule of thumb, and I don't really like making rules of thumbs, but as a general rule of thumb, in these build-ups, when your kick has a lot of bottom end to it, but nothing else does, the kick just kind of is awkwardly by itself. It's kind of like somebody who showed up to a party and they didn't know anybody there, and they were just like standing there not knowing what to do. So I would high pass the kick a little bit, or instead of using a kick, use a snare. You've got your whole track is kind of existing in this mid-range to high end, and then you just have this thump, 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 right? So as a general rule of thumb, I would not have a big and like thick kick drum when nothing else is really contributing to that frequency range. I wonder what it would sound like if that went, excuse me, down an octave. My air conditioning just shut off randomly. Anyway, what would that sound like if it was down an octave? It kind of sounds a little nasally right now, and I'm wondering if you shifted it down an octave, if it would put it in a more comfortable place. Worth a try. Okay, there's like one note in that little run that I don't like. Okay, this is what it is. You're playing a major third, but the track is in a minor key. Da, 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 da. It's... Hold on, let me pick a thing. I think that's what I don't like about it. And maybe this is a creative choice. I don't agree with it, but, you know. I think it should be D, D sharp F, not D, E, F. Diesel exhaust gas fluid. Anyway. Also, I'm not sure, is there any side chaining? And it kind of feels like when the kick hits, it's rumbling in the bottom end in a not good way. Rumbling in the bottom end in a not good way. So maybe side chaining or more side chaining if there is side chaining in there. Let's keep going. Again, with the thumping kick, with nothing else thumping. Like, this part would be sick with just that cool arpeggio thing. You don't need a kick there, I don't think. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure there's no side chain, because when the bass plays certain notes, the kick, you can hear it like dissonancing. I don't know what the word is. I mean, I don't really have to, Raham. I can hear it. Yeah, I mean, like, melodically, this has a lot going for it. Except that one, the da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't know how to sing it, but anyway, you know what I mean. I think the song is in a minor key. I know the song is in a minor key, and you're playing a major third in that little run, so fix that. The main bass that's just kind of like sustaining the entire time doesn't have the best character to it, and because it's sustaining the whole time, I don't know. I would almost just try like saving that. You can always go back to it and just try replacing the bass sound with something else. Holy fucking hypodermic needle over here. Look at this. Yeah, excuse me. Those are my thoughts. Thank you for sending in. I think that's it. I got to pee again, and I'm also starving hungry. as opposed to just starving. This is just me. It also tells me to unmute my mic, if you can see right here. Oh, wait, you can't. There we go. See? Unmute mic. Anyway, I don't know why I'm showing you this. Don't know. Anyway, whoa. Okay, thanks, everybody, for hanging out. I love you all, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Make some good shit and send it my way. Okay, bye.